Hello friends, very good morning to all of you. So today we are going to discuss PF 43 part 1, that is information of logs. So in PingFederate we have like a request log, we have audit log, we have server log, we have transaction log. So we'll try to see that what all these logs are giving to us, and also we can see that how we can enable the log in the debug mode, basically in the server log, so we can just it helps to troubleshoot the things, right? Because you can able to see the log in the debug mode. That means you have the more details, right? So you can easily able to troubleshoot the problems, right? So we can try to see the logs part in this session. Yeah, so let's begin. We are in 40 PF 43 part 1, that is information of logs. So we'll just try to discuss the different types of logs like request log, audit log, server transaction, what we have in PingFederate, and then we can just try to have a look on the log4j file, that how that file rotation is happening, and or maybe how you can just make some changes in the log4j2, and then you can just get the logs in the debug mode so that it can help to troubleshoot the problems. So yeah, and then you have the the request log, the audit transaction server.log. So we'll just try to understand this. So the request.log is mainly having the request information, like for example in case of sample, when your application or when a user is trying to access an application basically initiate a request, and yeah, you can see that request also in that yeah, basically in the basically you can see that request in the log, request.log in the PingFed. Then you have the audit.log, which can basically talks about yeah, like which can talk about that, yeah, like how is the basically it can just talk about the transaction, like for an example, like what authentication adapter came, whether the response, whether authentication is success or not. Okay, then what is the connection ID and all those, we can see that. Transaction.log will just talk about the received request and the sent response. Not having mentioned, there is no any IP address also included in the transaction log. But apart from these all three logs, you can see the IP address also. Then you have server.log, which basically talks about, so server log is the detailed log which can help to troubleshoot the problems, because if you enable the log in the debug mode, so you can get the more information for that, like exactly how the request initiated, what is the path it's following, where exactly it breaks. So to look into the logs, maybe it will take some time, but at the initial time you just need to make some habit so that you can understand. Okay, that is like how the things, how you can troubleshoot the things, how you can navigate to the logs, how you can check the things and able to fix those. So that's a important part. So yeah, just give some time on these logs and I'll just show you. But yeah, when you're troubleshooting, it will definitely take some time at the initial time, but once you just used to with this, then yeah, you can within less time you can able to find the problem. Okay, then you have the log4j2 logging service and configuration. So you have the log in the different, these are the modes like debug mode, info mode, warn mode, error mode, fatal mode. Debug mode is basically logs fine-grained informational events that are most useful when debugging PingFederate. Then you have the info logs, which is basically informational messages that highlight the progress of PingFederate at a course grained level. Then you have the warning logs, that basically potentially harmful situations which is, within PingFederate. Then you have the error logs, that is error events that might still allow the transaction to continue. Then you have the fatal logs, which basically logs only severe error events that will likely cause the transaction to abort. So these are the mode of the logs, but yeah, you can just enable in a debug mode so that you can able to get the more information for that particular event, and then you can able to find the problem also. Okay, this is all about this. Now let's quickly jump to the PingFederate, and I'll just show you the all these 4 logs with some transaction, and also we can just have a look on the log4j2. Okay, so let's try to access some application, like maybe we can try to access Salesforce. Go to the incognito window. I'm just showing you all the logs, then we can quickly have a look on the log4j2 and then we can jump to the next session. Okay, so my authentication happened and I got this error. That is fine because we have removed the sample configuration from the Salesforce end. Okay, this is fine. Now let's jump to the logs. This is our engine node. So go to log path, cd opt sso PingFederate ping logs. Okay, so here you can see that you have just talk about 3rd of September. Leave the other details, we can just see on those things also. So this is also basically the for example, you can see that you have the transaction.log for today. Like for 2nd of September, I can see the transaction.log is basically saved with the name of the date, that is basically configured in the log4j2 that I'll show you. So in the log4j2 you have that option, which basically like where you can see that how the date is getting appended and it's getting saved. So same for the audit also, you can see the year, month and days like this. So basically it's basically on the daily basis it's getting rotatable, and it's saving the file with that date date, and then it's giving you the new one. Okay, so if the data start, and it's just a generic log like transaction.log, audit.log, server.log, but once the date complete, it will just save with that file name with the date appending. And then you can just clean up also these the older files. Maybe you can keep the 6 months or 3 months. 6 months file is enough, no need to keep the file more than that. Okay, so you have the server log, audit log, transaction log, and this request.log. So let's check one by one. So first open let's request log, see is there any transaction recorded here or not. So this is saved with the date name only. Okay, open it, go to shift G, bottom last one. So right now you can see that I can see that 1857 we have or maybe you can see, yeah, just look into this 1114. Okay, so IDP start ss.ping partner SP ID is equal to HTTPS. Yeah, this is a Salesforce application we accessed. It shows about HTTP 200. Okay, yeah, it's 1856. Yeah, this is the time I think we tested last time. So right now it's 1856. I think the recently what we tried, and it should be the timing. If I can check right now, what is the time? It should be like, yeah, 6:59. It is 18:59 p.m. That's in GMT. So yeah, that's the request log what we have seen. Let me open it again. So that's the transaction you can see here, right? It's basically the HTTP GET request with the request came to the IDP start ss.ping partner SP ID equal to Salesforce connection ID, and then you have the HTTP 2.0 200. Okay, that is basically it's getting redirected to like, yeah, it's a GET request. There basically it's just sent to the PingFederate, and then PingFederate will handle the authentication and send the response. Okay, and here you have the post like IDP. This is the nonce value, and you have the resume sample 20 IDP start ss.ping. Yeah. Okay, so these are recorded in the request log. So it is not very helpful in troubleshooting the things, but yeah, you have these parameters. You can see the request things. Now let's go back and have a look on audit log. Go to shift G. So right now you can see that yeah, so there will be two requests is going to be triggered recorded here, right? So I can see here. Yeah. So basically it should be there is one in progress there, basically where the authentication attempt is happened. So yeah, here you can see the you can see the date, timestamp, then you have the transaction ID, then you have the what is this MNKDNG, maybe this is some kind of ID only. I'm not sure from where it is coming. MN76, maybe some ID is getting recorded. Okay, so you have the transaction ID, date and timestamp. You have the authentication attempt, that is we try to access, that's authentication attempt. Then this is my email ID that we am using, and this is the server IP address I basically used. Okay, you can get the IP address in general in the project, like if you are working like so. If you're trying to access an application from the client network, you can get the server your machine IP address in this. Otherwise, if you're trying from outside, then you have some proxy layer, so you'll get those addresses. You'll not get directly your machine address there. But in our case, this is a machine address, right? And then you have the connection ID name. Then it's talking about the SAML instance, then that's the instance, basically the GCP instance what we have. Then you have the identity provider and success HTML form appendage 41. Okay, that's adapter name. Okay, so it is basically talks about that authentication attempt as in progress, then authentication attempt is success. Then you have this. So basically three transactions happened here. So first one is as an authentication attempt, IDP in progress. Then you have the authentication attempt, IDP success. Then finally the single sign-on. That means like we have sent the, you can see the Abhishek arts. This is basically in the uppercase that we have in the SAML token. So yeah, so basically we have sent the assertion that's talking about in the IDP success. That means PingFederate has done the authentication and send the response to their address with the values whatever that you have configured. Okay, so this log is also helpful because it can just give you the idea of the in progress, success, adapter name, the transaction ID, the user address, the username identifier what basically used in this kind of transaction. Okay, these all information you can get. Now let's check transaction log. See what is there in transaction log. Go to shift-G. So in transaction log, as I told, you have some response and received request. It's not talking about much thing. So yeah, I can see the 1857. Yeah, this is the transaction. So as we use IDP, so we have only the response, not the received message here. Otherwise, you can see a received message as well as the response. So you can see this here is a timestamp instance. Then you have the S as for the message displaying sent response. Then you have the connection ID. Okay, SP. Then you have the virtual server ID. It's a base URL of PingFederate. Then it's talking about the success response, SAML ID, endpoint, the application endpoint. Okay, so those information you can see here. So it's not there's one thing here, like this log is not giving you the IP address, not otherwise request log, or you can see other logs have the IP address, but here you're not able to see any IP address. Okay, and yeah, this logs will talk about that received and sent response, like request received and the sent response. These two messages you can see with the success messages, right? So this is also somehow helpful, but not much. So the end is like the end goal is the server log. So how to go to the server log? Don't go directly to the server log and start searching, because server log is having detailed log. Because if you enable that in the debug mode, and you can enable it in the debug mode by simply in this newer version, like I'll show you in the PingFederate console. Otherwise, in the older version, you need to go to log4j file and then you need to enable. But in this newer version of PingFederate, they are giving the option like just go to, I think it should be in the server. Go to server and then go to log settings. So here you have the option, right? You can see the first option, category, core. Okay, so description like protocol, policy tree. So all these options you have, so you can enable like if you want to the debug mode to, so that you can get for particular thing you can get the login debug mode, and it's easy for you to troubleshoot the things, right? So for core I enabled debug logging for core components, but I haven't enabled for the protocol request, policy tree, data store response time, trusted CS, XML signature, HTTP request, HTTP request parameter, REST data store request and responses. So it depends on you, but you have this option here. It's not in the older version. In older version, you need to go to the log4j file and then you need to update that and save this. And here you have the option in the console directly. You can control from there. No need to go and update this file in the server. Okay, so this is a good thing. So we have already enabled in the debug mode. Now let's come back. So how to go to the server log? Don't go directly. Instead of that, what you can do, just search for the audit log. Go and open the audit log. And then you can see you have a transaction ID, right? So just copy the transaction ID. Okay, and then go to server log. Open server log. And how you can navigate, just put if you are coming from top to bottom, just use /. If you're going from bottom to top, then just use question mark, right? And then just paste your search thing, what you want to search, transaction ID, and then put enter. So now you can able to see the transaction thing, what exactly happened, and this is giving you more information. Okay, so let's talk about that, like exactly how it happened, what authentication adapter took place, which policy came, what selector you used. Okay, it talk about the if you use some LDAP in your configuration, then it will talk about that how that lab search happened, what information it bring, like the user information, all those. So it have the more information, so it will definitely help at the time when you are debugging the problems. Okay, so you can see like this. Maybe you are aware of this already because we have already did something for some of the connection, as we have seen some problem. Okay, but this is the detailed log, and if it's enabled in the debug mode, yeah, you can see all our debug mode, right? You can see debug. If you're not enabling, then you will not see more information, and then it's not easy for you to troubleshoot the things. Okay, so this, if you just read line by line, no need to skip this, just go through line by line. It's little boring, definitely, I feel, but yeah, you need to give time here. If you're not giving the time, you're not able to get the information. So maybe you can, at the initial time, maybe you can just I'll refer, just use SP initiated SSO. Just try accessing some OAuth application or the SAML application from the SP side if you have the URL of that, and then just try go for the end-to-end testing, and then just see what exactly happening in server log. That just try to understand like the policy part, selector, adapter, PCV, data store, whatever. It's going to help you to say all those information. And once you get a habit of this, it will not take much time for you to troubleshoot the problems. If you're not having the habit, or if you're just trying to skip from this, then it's not very easy, right? Then it's going to take time. And in general, people are using Linux machine only for the engine node. So yeah, definitely go through some Linux course also if you're not very good in the Linux thing. I'll definitely discuss, like after maybe maybe after 2 sessions, I'll discuss on the shell script part. That I'll just show you that like yeah, how you can develop some shell script to automate few of the jobs. What are the important commands we can use to get to extract some logs for our troubleshooting. We can just talk on those things. But yeah, if you want to, I'm not able to cover everything in the one session, right? So if you want to be an expert or to be very good in that, I'll recommend just take some course from Udemy or from YouTube, and then complete that and start building something. It's not just complete the course and leave it. Once you complete, you have some dev environment in your project also, right? Just use that and start building some script. See how the script works. Try to execute some commands, right? Just see all those things so that you are aware of those things, and you will not feel nervous when you're doing some changes, right, on the Linux machine. And I'm give you one assurance that you will definitely feel very good as compared to the Windows machine. Okay, maybe you used Windows machine for 10 years, but if you suddenly come to this machine, you're really going to enjoy the Linux. Yeah, how to navigate and do the troubleshooting. And it is really easy to do the troubleshooting here because you have very good commands of the Linux. Just use those and you can able to find the problem. Okay, so this is about like adapter response, retrieving LDAP util for LDAP. Then you have acquired bulkhead, releasing bulkhead, LDAP attributes, search, SRC search result, okay, like that. So you have many things here. Ignoring attempt to add null value to attribute map for policy action. Yeah. Okay, so this is the thing about this log part, and just go through line by line. No need to skip any of the line, and try. Definitely, it will say. For an example, I will say one thing that you just access the application. Okay, and application redirected you to PingFederate. PingFederate has the authentication set as a HTML form appendage, which has given you the login page of the where your user has entered the ID and password. After authentication, PingFed is not generating the token. It says some error, right? Maybe the error is that some attribute value is not getting generated. So that attribute value, you can come to the server log and have a look. Okay, that for example, you have 4 attributes like username, first name, last name, email address. So if username, first name, last name getting generated but not the email address, so you can just look into that for the email address, that exactly okay. So where it breaks basically, like why it's unable to fetch the email address, like exactly is that attribute exist in the directory or not, or is something happened with the directory, or when there is a LDAP search happened for that email address, is it break somewhere? So those information can help, this server log can help you to get, and then you can fix that. Okay, so now let's come out from there and I'll just show you the log4j file. Let's go to Windows. Okay, let's go to Windows and then just go to local C drive, program files, go to ping identity, PingFederate, go to server, default, conf. Under conf you can see you have log4j2 file. Okay, just open this. This is very important. If you, I think you all are aware already, there is a security breach happened, right? It's basically, it's not like by the ping, it's like for the Apache, right? Apache service. So you can directly use this link and just go through their documentation and information. Okay, in most of the industry, people are using this log4j2 for their log rotation and the log management, right? All those things. So in this file there are multiple things, but we just need to understand that how that rotation is happening. Okay, and then we can look into few other options also. Okay, so you can see in the XML, this is the way you can comment the line. Okay, angle bracket colon like this. Okay, exclamation mark hyphen hyphen, and then you can close. So these are already commented. Leave this information. So you have now, right, append message to take to the console. Okay, so you have the console name console system out. Okay, leave this part. Preserve message in the local file. Okay, so a size based file rolling appender. Okay, so here we need to now start looking, right? So so rolling file name is equal to file name is equal to sys pf.log.dir/server.log. so we have also server.log. Now once it rotated, then it's just appending. How it's appending, I think you can already see that. If I can go back, I'll show you again. So you can see this server.log is our recent one. Now if you can go one back, you have the server.log.5. so basically it's just incrementing the I value, and then as you can see in our log4j, right? So server.log.modulus I, right? And then yeah, you have the pattern as modulus tx tracking id ip modulus cm, and yeah, this is a basically pattern. Then you have the size and the max value. Okay, size 10,000 kb and the max is 5. Default rolling strategy. Yeah, that's the rolling strategy we are using for the server.log. In similar way, we have the rolling strategy for the other, like this is for SAML transaction, like transaction.log. So you can see you have transaction.log, and it's changing with the you're just, once the day completed, you're just putting that with the saving that file with the transaction dot year, the date, basically date and a date stamp. So that is like the format is like year, that the year, month, days, like this dot log. So it's basically going to save the older file in that pattern. Okay, similar for the thread dump appender. Then you have, okay, for the audit, you can see security audit to file. Okay, then you can see that yeah, so one thing is here, like you can see that like in the audit here, like it's security audit to file here, like you have the format here. Now it's talking about one more thing here, like what exactly the things are coming in that. So you can see that tracking id, transaction id, event. So that's the event basically what we have seen that, right? The id I'm talking, so it's the event recorded. Then you have the subject, then ip, then app, connection id, protocol, host, role, like that. You have the pattern in that audit log. So you're defining again this log4j2 file only, right? Then you have the admin audit, okay, with the pattern here defined. Then you have the admin event detail API or detailed audit, sorry, and you have the pattern defined, admin API audit. Okay, like this you have. Okay, so you have the different log file, and based on that you have the rolling pattern defined, and the pattern defined, and the yeah, that how you're going to save the file once it completed a day. Okay, so I haven't made any changes here. It's just default, it's saving that in that format as it's PingFed has given us. Okay, okay, and then you have, this is all commented. It's good. It's a very long file, and it's very important file also. And yeah, if there is any security, some vulnerabilities, maybe they will just give you ping identity will already going to give you how to fix this vulnerability, right? So you just need to follow their mails and subscriptions. Yeah, this is, I think. Then you have the appenders like define logger log levels. Yeah, this is for the logger log levels. Okay, so you have the org source ID, comping identity. Then you have the util system util. Then you have the common util error handler. Then you have the util.log policy tree logger, SAML20 domain, trusted CAS manager, common DSIZ, common util. So you're not supposed to touch these all things for changing the log level from info or warning to debug mode, because I just shown you, right, in that console, in that PingFederate console, right? You have those options already present. So yeah, you're not supposed to go to server and make some changes. You just need to come here and just enable this whatever you want, right? To enable in the debug mode, so that you can get more information for all those. For core I already enabled, but for other you can enable. No need to go to like to this log4j2 and enable from there, like. Okay, so you have this like log levels for different parameters. Okay, data store, logging interceptor. Okay, this is for third-party dependencies. This is for the Amazon SDK logging. This is for the Jetty. This is for the J groups, AWS Ping. So all have their own functions, right? So as per that, you can enable and have a look on those if you want. Loggers map to specific appenders. Okay, thread dump logger, org source ID, simultaneity binding proxy. Okay, then you have the SP audit logger. So this is the end of the logger thing. Then yeah, maybe we have some more. I think IDP audit logger, and then IDP. Yes, multiple. So I think there are two important things: the logger part, where we are enabling the log into the debug mode to get more information, and we have the like log file rotation thing, and the pattern. Okay, so these things are important in the log4j2. For WS Trust, we have for this logging util, identity provision log, audit logger, event audit, admin API, runtime API, set up the outbound provisional audit logger. Okay, so async logger, yeah, these are the things. So yeah, this is very important, but yeah, don't need to confuse with right now you're not supposed to make any changes here. If you want the log to be enabled in debug mode, just go to the console, enable that. If you need some any custom like for the with the third party what we have seen like Amazon SDK and other, then just come here and update that. And also if you're using, otherwise no need to use that. And also like for log file rotation, and for the log file rotation, yeah, just update as per your like design or whatever, how you're just trying to manage your logging configuration. Yeah, otherwise the default value is also fine, no issue in that. Okay, so yeah, I think this is a basic thing, and start looking into the problems. Okay, don't try to escape. I have seen the people like in the earlier time when they are joining the project, like they're just trying to escape from the troubleshooting, right? Don't no need to escape, right? If you escape, otherwise you will not able to learn. So just jump into the problems, see what is the lag in you, just complete that lag. Maybe people have not very good in the Linux, so just make yourself better in Linux. Just go and just watch the videos, complete some course in Udemy, just do some hands-on on the commands, Linux command, start writing some shell script. Okay, you will definitely be good in that. Just try to understand the logs as we discussed, the audit log, server transaction, server log. Just see how you can just enable the things in debug mode if required. Try how you are reading those logs, right? That is very more important. Handle you need to just handle the SAML tracer. That is very important. What we have seen. You need to just very good in some network tools also, as I discussed earlier, that Fiddler tools or like Wireshark. So I'll discuss on the Wireshark like in one of the session how we can troubleshoot the things using that. But yeah, that's something we need to know on a very good way, so that you can easily able to do the troubleshooting, and don't try to skip, just jump and solve the problem. Yeah, okay, let's jump to the next session. Thank you. If you have anything, please put in the comment section.